Hey loves, how are you? Today we're actually going to dive into a divine masculine check-in support read. There's been a lot of energy coming in around that, but I'm also acutely aware that what the masculines are experiencing right now is part of what has occurred because of how and where Divine Feminine Collective is at. So I do believe some feminine messages will be coming in as well. But I want to read to you the download that came in. It's also been simultaneous with experiences I've been seeing both personally and professionally on multiple levels. So what came through is divine masculine's desire to grow is pushing him into self-reflection. His growth is bringing rigidity to the surface and old memories and experiences. There's like a reflection process that's happening. And as his control mechanisms are dissolving, he's recalling his higher power, and it's ultimately supporting him to access the power of his own intuition. And this feels like it's a process. And it's in this process for the masculine collective right now. Obviously, each masculine is an individual, so they're at different parts of this journey for themselves in many different ways. And I'm speaking about this, yes, if you have a counterpart twin flame connection, but it's even broader than that in the general overall masculine collective. And as we've spoke about this on the channel, our general world, our general collective, even the feminines oftentimes have been reacting out of their masculine energies and oftentimes a more like wounded masculine energy. And so this is where the sacred feminine, divine feminine essence is, those of you that have been working on that, where what you are doing is coming into play and having a much bigger positive effect than you may have realized. Because the difference is as the feminines are healing their inner energies, their wounded feminine, their wounded masculine, protecting themselves, showing up for themselves, caring for themselves physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then the feminines, they're really dropping into their sacred feminine essences in a very stable and present manner for herself, but also in service on this planet. What this is doing is inspiring the sacred masculines to move into their sacred divine masculine essences as well. So, sacred feminine's beautiful work, keep going. And this is something that is so incredibly powerful and important to acknowledge because actually, like I've said, the feminine's moving into a safe container for themselves within their true feminine essences and being receptive to what is for them is inspiring this shift for the masculine collective as a whole, which is ultimately inspiring this shift for the collective. And it's not like we've said to it's not about moving into a feminine way of being only. It's about coming into those beautiful, balanced, harmonious energies of honoring both the sacred feminine and sacred masculine. And as we each step into our guidance and our role and our purpose of what we're here for, and you're going to know what role you're meant to be in because you're going to feel that guidance within you. And that's really what's the most important. And as we're doing that, as we're following our guidance and caring for ourselves, it's supporting that overall bigger shift. And it's really quite beautiful because it goes back into simply just dropping into being more and more of your true, authentic self, showing up for yourself. And this in turn is inspiring and holding space to allow the masculines to do the same. What's been coming through is in the old templates and the old energies, there was just so much projection, and the feminines were oftentimes struggling because we didn't know how to fully hold those safe containers for ourselves in our feminine energies. We were boss at doing it in our masculine, right? But now we're softening into holding those higher, safe, stable spaces for ourselves and being in our sacred feminine essences. And it is changing the entire template, the entire platform. And so those old templates are dissolving in many cases. And even if there was a lot of interactions happening within them, as those of us who are no longer participating in them step out and start to build the new templates and the new foundations, it's allowing for a new beacon of energy, a new roadmap, so to speak, so that people who maybe weren't aware that there was another option are starting to see there's another option. And yes, I know that there are masculines that are doing this work as well. And you know that that's why I'm here doing these masculine support reads, because I know that you're showing up. I know that you're working on your own internal union energies and stepping more fully into your sacred masculine. And this is why we are here, to work together, to co-create together, and to move into the new energies in unity consciousness. And so for the masculines in this transitionary state who are being inspired by the divine sacred feminine's transformation to move into their own levels of growth and transformation. I'm going to bring in some support messages around that. And so let's see. I'm just going to open it up if there's something the masculines want to share, if there's something that they would like to hear or hear from the feminines or whatever. We're just going to open it up to allow it to take shape. Okay. It's a little shaky. This is how the masculines used to come in. So I do feel that quite a bit of the masculines are going through quite a bit right now. And I feel like they're confirming, yes, as the feminines are moving into the new templates and focusing on all of her new creations in her feminine essence, it is showing the true value of that co-creative ability within our own internal unions, but to show the masculines the true power of the sacred feminine and masculine together. Because in the old templates, we were both only operating out of half of our energies, and we were attempting to make a whole out of two beings. But in truth, within each of ourselves lives all of this potential. And so in the old templates, we were just pulling and pushing and frustrating one another because we were looking to the other to fulfill that role when it was meant to happen to some levels internally and then externally. That's, and what I mean by that, I absolutely honor the sacred feminine and masculine coming together in the external world to build and create and build families and partnerships. And this is an important part of the foundation that's beginning and going to be coming up, especially over the next years. Okay. But in order to do it in the new energies, we had to be able to step into all of our true energy as an individual being, or at least be in that process and comfortable enough to be who we are in our authentic energies. Okay. And this actually is gorgeous because it holds that space for the masculines to do the same. And what's coming through is that in the past, yes, many of you may have noticed that many masculines would get out of one relationship and move quickly into another one because they were looking for that feminine essence to stabilize them. As much as the feminines thought that they were looking for the masculine to help stabilize them, the masculines were equally looking for feminine essence to help them because they had been so distorted and inverted away from their own internal intuition and creative powers. And I think many of the masculines also were not realizing how much they were actually relying on the feminine in their life to support their processes. And I think that some of that is starting to be opened up and the light is starting to be shed on how much those energies were in a codependent manner in attempts the ability in our soul memory to be interdependent and to build and grow empires and lives and gorgeousness was still innately within all of us. Unfortunately, we were handed and included in a world in a very faulty template and foundation that had us not in our own true full essence and power as individuals. And so we were really literally operating out of what we knew. And so there's no fault on the masculines or feminines for these dynamics. We were all handed what we were handed, and we were attempting to work with what we understood. So this is by no means coming from a space of judgment. This is more so calling out what it was. So now we know how to move through it and to step into our own essence and power. And what's coming is not that we have to have it all figured out, but what's important is that when we do come to the table now in the new energies, is that we have this awareness that our own sovereign energy as individuals, as a masculine and as a feminine in our own inner union, is an important first piece of the puzzle that has to come first. Like feminines in the connection have to be willing to put themselves first so that they can show up strong and stable in the connection, and vice versa. The masculines have to be knowing that they can care for themselves and provide for themselves in all the ways necessary so that they can show up in the connection. And what I mean by that is we are not going to have it all figured out day one. It's more about the interplay and the dance of understanding that it's an ongoing process internally and externally. But when we come to the table with this understanding that we're all learning and growing in something that we were not taught, that our soul knows and remembers at a very deep level. And what we're doing is extracting those true, original, pristine codes so that we can bring them to the table within our own energies and then together as a collective and together in these sacred union energies. Okay. And so it feels to me like what's coming to the table is that the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine collectives are preparing to truly starting to step into these physical world communications and collaborations and beginning to learn how to work with these energies. And it's not going to be in the old ways where it's rushed and hurried and pushing and forcing and trying to take things and force them into action. This is going to be about honoring both the intuitive creative flow, dropping into our own hearts, finding out what is right for each as individuals, and then coming to the table and discussing and understanding in a respectful manner with both parties on how to move forward and take action in the physical world that is a way that is respectful and honoring to both masculine and both feminine, because both are very strong and gorgeous in their own ways. Both provide a very specific um potential to the connection as a general whole. And if we can come to the table as who we are as beings and to be honored and sit across from one another and honor one another in that true essence and true power, in the fact that both parties bring something powerful to the table and that not any one way is better than the other, that is when this world changes. That is when we start to build in a way that has never been seen on this planet. And yes, I'm going to say that because, yes, we had powerful civilizations in the past, but those powerful civilizations or those versions of ourselves didn't have all of the experience of the fall that each one of us has had. And so we're coming at this from a whole new perspective, in a whole new power and stability and self-love that we learned hard-won wisdom that no one can take from us this time, that we're not going to easily roll over and give away because we've earned this reestablishment of who we are as beings. And we're in this process right here and right now as human beings. And so the masculines are confirming, keep going, sacred feminines. What you're doing is supporting you, the planet, and the masculines to be inspired into their next levels. I do feel guided to bring in the priestess of light and bring in some support messages for the masculines around this process. Actually did see that I may do a recorded meditation for this. I was wanting to do it before this, but you just can't force these creative flows. So if it's meant to come forward, it will. And I'll post that for you guys and post it in the community tab or keep you up to date on that. But let's just see what we choose to co-create together. Okay. Yep, we're gonna let those both come out. Ooh, okay. That's so funny. So this one flipped on the table and it's innovation, new creation. And the other card was courage, strength, fierceness, family. And to me, this is like masculines as you feel the courage to move into who you are, to accept all of the parts of you are, to actually embrace all of those inner energies, to open up to your true heart, to your own intuition, to step into your own inner energies without relying on an external energy, but allowing yourself to be inspired by those external energies. By all means, allow yourself to get support. But this is that deeper call to remember and to be inspired by the feminines around you and the feminines in your life who are inspiring you into these other parts of yourself. Because within you, within your heart, within who you truly are as a full sacred masculine being, is worlds of innovation and courage and creative, amazing gorgeousness. Okay. And yes, having a partnership with a sacred feminine is an important part of your journey in many cases, and something that is going to open up in new and deeper ways for the masculines as well. But in order for the masculines to receive what it is that they're wanting, they also have to equally open up into their receptive energies. And this reception is about receiving their own higher power, their own higher knowledge, their own true direct connection to source. And part of what I felt within the activation that I may be guided to bring through, but I want to start it right here and right now for you, is focusing on your crown chakra and your third eye and opening up to, if you don't know what those are, which I think many of you probably do, but truly opening up to your higher power. Masculines, if you want something concrete and technical to focus on, imagine creating a portal from your body, from your head up to the sun and expanding it beyond up to your connection to creator, okay? Or however you connect God, whatever you believe in, whatever you connect with. And you can even just make it as simple as your highest power, your highest self, okay? And connect with the sun on our planet is sacred, divine, masculine essence, okay? Connecting with a point of higher power, of higher light, whatever that, however that works for you, you can draw this vision if that helps you. It can be very helpful to create a concrete, solid blueprint for masculines, especially as you're learning to harness your higher vision and your higher power. When you're used to being very physical and logical and action oriented, to just go into these higher energies can feel a little bit overwhelming or unstable or even like airy fairy in some moments. But it's very important because here is where a lot of major downloads and intuitions can occur. Okay. And I know some of you are already doing this or receiving this, but this can help you strengthen it and build your internal union energies where you're pulling in those higher codes and higher visions and higher knowledge and grounding them in so that you can start to build and take action. But that middle ground, a middle piece of what may be supportive for you is to have a notebook, to have a sketchbook and start to write or draw your blueprints. That is still taking action. That is still creating a container. That is still stabilizing your ideas. And many of you probably already do this in a very logistical way in your day-to-day life, say with your bills or with your work, right? Or things like that. This is simply taking those things that you're using on a day-to-day basis that you envision, and then you start to create and build on. What you're doing is learning to give your higher power a bit more space and grace to actually expand upon what you've already been doing. This is not to stop or squelch or squish the logic or the building or creative energies that and the action energies that you're already mastered in. This is expanding and building upon those. This is basically like adding the motor to your boat, okay? And adding the gasoline, okay? And then you start to learn to work with this, connect with the feminines in your life, pay attention to what they're doing, open up to the fact that the feminines also hold keys the same way the masculines do. How do you think I'm sitting here? It's been because I've been watching masculines in many ways. And yes, I have my own internal, but I've been learning how to stabilize and build in new and deeper ways by learning from watching the masculines and then making it my own in my own feminine way. Okay. So this is about taking what you're seeing, make it your own. It's not about becoming a feminine. It's about allowing it to inspire and add to what you're already doing, okay, in a new and deeper way. And then what this also does is it helps you actually understand yourself better. It also opens up to understanding the sacred feminine power so that when you do come into a connection and a union with a sacred feminine, you're going to be able to respect and honor the power and the abilities and the capabilities and the potential that she is offering and providing at the table as well. And this is very important for both parties. Okay, loves? So, what we're able to do within, we're then able to do externally. And this is not to say that you're going to be just like the feminine. No, you're not meant to be. You're just meant to open up to more of who you are. And within that, it's going to help build a bridge to your sacred feminine. The same way as the sacred feminine has been working on her internal union, she is understanding you deeper and deeper and more. Is she a masculine? No. Does she fully understand all that it is to be a masculine? No. But as she has developed more of her internal energies, she's learning to work with that. And she's also in awe and excitement of the gorgeous power and building ability that the masculines hold within them. You masculines have inspired the feminines as well. That's why they're also equally here building. Okay, loves? This is a give and take. This is the co creative gorgeousness of the potential that we have in front of us in these connections internally in ourselves and also equally on this planet. Okay. So I want to bring in actually one more true love oracle for the Sacred Masculine Collective, but I'm also feeling obviously this is included for the feminines as well. Compatibility. Gorgeous. So to me, what this is really summarizing all the energies that we were just talking about is you become compatible internally with yourself, and it just naturally allows the flow of compatibility to start to present in your life and in your connections. And as you drop into wanting to just be who you are, and asking your higher power to connect you with the feminines that are genuinely compatible with you. And you're willing to look at your own internal truth, sacred masculines, and all of who you actually are, and aligning with your natural, true, full power in nature, it's going to naturally align you with the feminine that you're compatible with. Okay. And vice versa. Clearly, sacred feminines, as you're aligning with your authentic true self and your sacred power and your true creative abilities, it's going to naturally align you with the masculine that is compatible for your true essence. Okay. This is the absolute undeniable beauty of dropping into our authentic inner union, becoming who you naturally are just naturally starts to eliminate what isn't meant for you and naturally draws in and magnetizes what is meant for you. Okay. You actually do have the power to create and build the life that you want. And the more you come into your own inner compatibility and inner union, the less internal tug of war you're experiencing, the less external tug of war you will experience. And you will begin to draw more and more of what is meant for you into your life as you are showing the world you are ready to receive it. And you show that you're ready to receive it because you're receiving yourself. You're receiving all of who you are. You're embracing who you are as a full being. All right, loves, this is key. This is beautiful. And sacred masculines, if you are here watching and you would like support with this, you're more than welcome to book a one-on-one with me. If you would like to go deeper into strengthening these energies and you feel that support would be positive thing for you. All right, loves, there you have it. I love you. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I do feel that there's going to be a video coming out for the sacred divine feminines around a deeper look into how the feminines have been stepping into their power and what this is truly doing on a bigger scale. I would like to dive into that for the feminines because I think that as much as I know you guys have been in your own internal validation, I think that it can be really beautiful and supportive to receive deeper confirmations of how the work that you've been doing in mostly silence is actually supporting the overall collective. And I feel very deeply guided and honored to bring those messages through, probably in the next day or two. All right, loves, so grateful that you're here with me. And as always, I love to hear from you in the comments. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Love you.